So if I don't come back, and the way I get stuck and Ming gets stuck is we get stuck in a guilt and shame loop. We get stuck in this place of so much self-abuse on ourselves of, I'm a piece of shit. If I'm in the Christian world, I'm a sinner. I'm worthless. I'm a piece of shit. Guilt, shame, down to the pit we go. Then we cover the pit with lies, and we pretend like it's not happening. We stuff it down, and we put on the happy, clappy smile, and we go about days thinking something's going to change.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Justin's programs work. How do you know? Justin works. How do you know? Students in his programs get fucking results. Do all of them? No, not because the program doesn't work, because you don't work.
That's right.
The same reason why my wife and I have been together for 23 years. We've almost been divorced 10 times.
Yeah.
And people are like, how you guys do it? I was like, we have to keep dying, let the past go, rebuild something new.
What is up, entrepreneur DNA family? This episode is for everyone, even though you might not like what you hear. If you are not watching this, you need to watch this. If you do not know my guest, you need to know my guest. If you're not achieving what you want to achieve in life on all levels, this is the man you need to follow and be a part of his world. Garrett J. White is in the house, bro.
Welcome, all of you. I don't know who you are, but welcome for a treat. I promise you, whatever you think this show has been in the past, it'll probably be very different than what you think it's going to be.
There's no doubt.
That tends to be how these shows go.
And that's the best part.
Yeah.
We just let it fly.
We just let it fly.
Everyone here is an entrepreneur, an aspiring entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Big success, little success, just getting started. You have done something very special in the space of entrepreneurship, and I think it needs to be noted, and I want to just start with what you've been able to create over your, what are we doing, 13 years now?
13 years,
Wake
yep.
Up Warrior?
Yep.
You've kind of led the pack in what I would say for all of us who are mentors, coaches, leaders in this space, but it's because you had to find a way to lead yourself first, right?
Yep.
So if you can't find a way to lead yourself, how the hell are you going to achieve? And you're the embodiment of being able to lead yourself first to be able to go create more.
Well, if you look at, first off, the decision to be an entrepreneur is insanity.
No, I agree.
Right? And there's a lot, particularly now, that's like really pushed. It went back when we started, it wasn't, I mean, it was pushed, but not like it's pushed right now. Now it's like it's a stamp of honor to be an entrepreneur, and there's a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, and now with online ability and all the different avenues to be able to make money without having to have overhead and offices and assistants and payroll, you can contract and VA this and VA that, and you can have people working for you in Tibet, and now they're working for you in India, and it's like $2 an hour, and it's like all these things are different. Like when I started 23 years ago, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That, of course, took me from being a PE teacher to I think I can be rich. Like I never even had the thought I wanted.
You were by far the highest paid PE teacher of all time.
I am the highest paid PE teacher in the world right now.
There's no doubt.
Nope. There's not one person that's come out of pedagogy. That's the official name they give it. They like to call it. It's like calling your garbage man a sanitation engineer. You're like, nah, he's a garbage man. And I'm a PE teacher. Jack Black in School Rock says that if you can't do, you teach. And if you can't teach, you teach PE.
There you go.
So there I was as a PE teacher, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, like millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
So grateful that Robert Kiyosaki marketed the shit out of that and sold that book.
No doubt.
And so that was like the beginning stage. And I thought, wow, I could be rich. And that led me into mortgages, and that led me into real estate. And then between real estate, mortgages, and life insurance, these became the trifecta of what we did from 2000 to 2008. Then 8 happens. We are young. I'm the oldest dude on my team. I'm like 32. All my guys are in their 20s. We weren't entrepreneurs.
No.
We were wholesale hitmen.
Yeah.
That's it. We were wholesale hitmen in the life insurance contract space, the real estate contract space, and the mortgage contract space. We just passed deals. We found people, passed deals to big companies, listened to the big companies who at the time were telling us to do all kinds of illegal shit.
Sick.
We had a department in our mortgage office that was the fixer part of the shop. Our banks would send things back to us from underwriting. Our underwriters would send back, for we were just a brokerage who worked with correspondent banks who worked with the primary banks, and the money just flowed down. We didn't know shit about shit. We had all the older dudes who were like in their 40s and 50s, and then the underwriters telling us what to do. We didn't give a shit. We were like, okay, it's your money. We don't care. So like they would send back 1003, send back contracts, say, hey, we need it to say this. And we're like, what? In our minds, we're like, yeah, but this is what the numbers are. And they're like, we need it to say this. This happens like this happens over and over again for like 2 weeks with us. And my team's are looking at it, what the fuck are these guys talking about? And then one of the guys on my team's like, bro, this is like Nina loans, no income, no asset, sissy loans, like option arms, interest only, rape equity, buy another property, everybody getting homes that shouldn't get homes. And we're like, okay.
Sure.
So we started forging documents. We didn't call it forging because we didn't know. The banks are like, do this. And we're like, okay. And then we'd send it back and we get approved. Person get the home, bank can get the loan, we get paid, homeowner's happy, everybody's happy. We don't know any different. We're like, fine. Where our challenge came is when people started raising money. So then dudes around us started raising capital because you could rape equity from property so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was a fun guy now. And now people are starting to put money together and they're giving out returns on investment like 2-3% a month.
Cool.
A month. But again, we're stupid. We read Rich Dad Poor Dad and I was a PE teacher. Most of the rest of the guys worked at like Denny's and now we're just fucking hired hitmen. We're like, okay, so all these dudes we knew, Garrett Gunderson and I, who ran Freedom Fast Track, were Killing Sacred Cows, were strategic partners.
No kidding.
Garrett and I ran hot together. So there was Investors Paradigm, my company, and Ingenuity would name his company, and we both would collab on stuff. But Garrett and I both had this intuitive kind of knowing of shit's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't raise money, and I was like not raising money, but everyone around us was raising money, including big name dudes who were 15, 20 years older than us who were like our mentors, were raising capital. And they were just rolling the money. But again, I didn't know math. I had a calculator when I started mortgages. It was fucking backwards. You know what I'm talking about, Justin? You know that dumb calculator.
I do.
I'm like trying to fucking punch the numbers in backwards. I can't even do forwards math. Timber, listen, you young entrepreneurs, you have no fucking clue, dude.
Dude, none.
Like, my career started with a stack of papers with names and phone numbers that had VA home loans, and I walked in the office and said, call those people.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what am I supposed to tell them? That we can get them a lower rate. At the time, rates were like 9.5. We were refinancing down to like 9.
Oh, God.
People like, rates are so high. I was like, bro, I remember telling a lady on the phone, she said, I'm going to wait until rates get down to 8%. And I go, ma'am, it will be a cold day in hell before rates get to 8%. So all you guys whining about 4 and 5 and 6%, you don't have a clue. Now I sound like an old dude because there were old dudes saying that to us back then when rates were at 14%.
That's right.
So all of that game in mortgages and banking, we blew up and we made a bunch of money and then we got smashed.
So did we all, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you and I were in the same space. You were doing loans. I was just doing retail. Smashed. Lost it all. Really lost it all.
Whole generation, and there's a whole generation of dudes from that day that still talk about back when I was crushing it. I was like, dude, you realize that's almost 20 years ago. We got to stop talking about that. Like, if you're still being crushed from what happened almost 20 years ago, you were ever a player.
Let's talk about that. I mean, we could take this so many ways. Like, the fact that people are holding on to 20 years ago losses is why they're stuck making $150,000 a year still.
Yep.
Because they can't let go of that.
Can't let go of the past.
There's a quote, I'll butcher the quote for sure, but it's like, it's about guilt, and holding on to guilt or hatred is a tax you'll pay forever. If you can't forgive yourself, if you can't forgive the person, if you can't get over that thing, it'll be a tax you'll pay forever and you won't be able to get along further. There's a way better quote about it, but essentially you'll never be able to really achieve what you want to achieve financially, within marriage, whatever the thing is, if you are holding on to that guilt, the hatred, the hurt, the whatever, because it's a tax you'll forever pay. You can't get in another relationship ready for that relationship if you're holding on to the hurt, the hatred, the guilt, the whatever. Oh, dude,
that's why people, if you take it to marriage, you're like, okay, well, dudes will be like, well, I just need to get a new woman. So a lot of guys in painful relationships will be like, just like people look at the place they're out working or the place they're out in business or the industry they're in, there's this delusion that somehow I don't have marketing skills, sales skills, and leadership skills, and I'm in real estate. If I go do software, I'll be successful. No, you won't. If I just need to change industries. I'm in the wrong industry. No, you have no fucking skills. So even no matter what you do, you're still going to suck because you don't have fundamental skills of marketing and persuasion, sales and persuasion, leadership and moving people to do things. So it's like, you can't change it. Marriage is no different.
Yeah.
And so if I fuck up in my marriage and I don't have skills as a man to be able to lead my wife and I don't have immovability in me as a human, my immovability, that lack of strength in me, I leave this woman and go find a new vagina, it's going to be okay for 6 months.
Yeah.
Then the same shit's going to repeat. Just different woman, same problems because the problem's in you. Change industry, same problems you. Change coaches. Oh, Justin's an asshole. His program doesn't work. I'm going to go get one from Eric Spofford. Or I'm going to go hang out with whoever. And you just find out you're a loser the whole time.
Yep.
And you get that newness feeling, just like a new vagina or a new woman. You're like, oh, I got a new woman. It's going to be different. It's not. You're still the same asshole dragging them through the game.
Yeah.
So if I don't come back, and the way I get stuck and Ming gets stuck is we get stuck in a guilt and shame loop. We get stuck in this place of so much self-abuse on ourselves of, I'm a piece of shit. If I'm in the Christian world, I'm a sinner. I'm worthless. I'm a piece of shit. Guilt, shame, down to the pit we go. Then we cover the pit with lies and we pretend like it's not happening. We stuff it down. And we put on the happy, clappy smile. And we go about base thinking something's going to change.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Justin's programs work. How do you know? Justin works. How do you know? Students in his programs get fucking results. Do all of them? No, not because the program doesn't work, because you don't work.
That's right.
The same reason why my wife and I have been together for 23 years. We've almost been divorced 10 times.
Yeah.
And people are like, how you guys do it? I was like, we have to keep dying, let the past go, rebuild something new.
Stop right now. Rewind that, re-listen to that. Whatever you need to do, that part right there, you could end the episode if you have to. That is gold. That is written all over people's walls right now. You need to let the past die, let go, and figure out what's going forward.
Well, think about this. If you look at you as a real estate investor now, and you go back 10 years, just go back 5 years.
Yeah.
Prior to COVID.
Yeah.
How different are you in the way you see the world now than what you were seeing 5 years ago?
Drastically. I mean, it's not even in comparison. That's a great example because the big life worldly, thing of COVID, right? But in a general sense, people don't give themselves enough runway to be able to have that perspective.
None. They don't look back.
They don't.
So the Trapman, Dan Sullivan was the first one. He actually wrote a book on this called Gap and the Gain.
Great book.
My wife loves that book. I was like, finally got her to read, which I'm proud of her. She started reading in the last 5 years. She wanted to read before that. 50 Shades of Grey. She read that.
Oh, of course she did. In all of the shades.
Yeah, and the problem was she read 50 Shades of Grey, and then I figured that I was going to get to play out some of that 50 Shades of Grey, and her sex life was shit. I was like, fucking book's a lie. They needed a user manual to come along with that. Fortunately, we created one at Warrior called Paid and Laid Protocol, so we helped dudes figure out how to get 50 Shades of Grey back into their marriage.
Come on, Paid and Laid Protocol.
And Laid Protocol.
Come on.
Yeah, so if you come back to this game of letting go, though, this is hard because our identity is in the things that we have done. And in Gap in the Game, Dan Sullivan talks about this idea that, and he had taught, I was a strategic coach with him for 10 years. I started with him back when I was in mortgages back in like 2003, 2002, first time I attended his courses. And he would teach that first concept, and basics is a lot better now. It's refined, but of course, over time, everything gets more refined. But we not only do we live in guilt and shame, we're constantly looking forward to the possibility of what could be. And the more success you have, the further out that horizon gets because you start to see more and more of your capabilities. And so the trap becomes I'm perpetually unhappy and dissatisfied because no matter what I do, it will never be enough. Compound that with Christian guilt, Christian shame. You're a sinner. You're worthless. God's angry at you, Old Testament style. And combine that with a sexual relationship and it's not working out. And worse is if you're good looking people and everybody thinks you're having a passionate love affair, but you're not. You're a fucking war with each other at home and on Instagram. You're like, hey, I love it. And then like 3 weeks later, oh, we really want all your prayers at this hard time in our season as me and so are no longer going to be together. Said about 15 of the top influencers in the last 3 years, full of shit. So there's this piece of like, how do I deal with truth?
Well, let's even go back to your loss, right? Everyone knows my story. You crush real estate.
Yeah.
Now it's 2008. How did you reframe it, get over it, reframe your life, and continue? Because you are literally at the pinnacle, in my opinion, at the pinnacle of where I think all men want to be, all successful entrepreneurs want to be. It's not because you are the richest, by the way. It's not the money side of it. It's the revelations you've been able to have since 2008, because I don't know the story before 2008.
Yeah.
But how did you take that moment in the moments thereon that you could look back and say, okay, here's how I need to change. Here's what I did wrong in that fact. Here's what I needed to do better, or whatever the case. How do you do that?
So by the end of 2008, we lost everything. So I made every big mistake an entrepreneur can make. First, I didn't understand trends. I didn't understand markets. I didn't understand money. I knew how to hustle it. I didn't know how to keep it. And I definitely know how to grow it. So we could make money, but that was the only skill we had. If I can't keep money, then it doesn't matter how much money I make. I'm always going to fucking be broke. Because Pareto's law, no matter what I make, I'm going to continue to spend what I'm making. I'm going to continually be fucked. I'll just be broke at a higher level. Different cars, different houses, still same stress. So we didn't have any of those skills. I didn't even think about saving money. Didn't even think about growing money. It was just hustle and get money. And we just figured we could always get it. So no matter what we did, even if we fucked up deals, we didn't care. We could go get another $1 million to a company in the next 4 weeks selling some shit.
Yeah.
But then when rates turn and the banks cut off and everything shifts, like you're left in this place and a whole generation of dudes like me, that was our first time making money.
Yeah.
So when you've made money one way and you've only made it one way, you only see the world through that one way. You don't recognize that there's abundance in doing all kinds of shit.
Right.
People make money doing all, but when I was in the real estate, insurance, and banking world, that's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're fucked. And there was no capacity in my mind to help me see, hey, I have all these skills. I could just go do something else.
Yeah.
Instead, I did what everybody did. Drank, drugs, and an affair. Because my wife at that time, I had pushed all our personal money to try to save the business after taking all the company's money trying to save the business and pushed all of our personal assets, sold everything liquid trying to save the business, only to end up at the bottom of the pit with all the debt on me. Partners, nobody had signed on anything. Everything was on me. The guys who had been raising money around me, I was one signature away from going to jail for 10 years. Had I signed that document, I'm fucking done. So I'm in this place where nothing makes sense. My wife hates me, deservedly. I have no money. I have no network. I have no nothing. And inside of all of this, I was raised in Mormonism, and I start to run. Running becomes my outlet. I'd done marathons for 3 years, Ironman World Championships in 2007, right before we lost everything in Kona, and I got into ultras. And so I would just run. That's all I had. And when I was running, I started to find this stillness. I listened to Conversations with God at the time by Neil Donald Walsh. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to give anybody. I couldn't see my value for anything. And my wife wouldn't talk to me. My family wouldn't talk to me. No one was talking to me. Everybody fucking left. All these people who I'd helped over the years, people who were stuck, sending their kids to drug rehab, I was just giving money to people. Hey, have some money, because I could always get more. And nobody came to help me. And I'm glad they didn't.
You wouldn't be here today.
I wouldn't be here.
That's right.
So in that place, running ultras in the middle of the mountains, I started to hear after about 8 to 9, 10 miles of running, it gets annoying to listen to music. Podcasts weren't really a thing then.
Right.
And so I'd just sit with myself. And in the mountains, running on trails, I started to hear this voice talk to me. I didn't know where it was coming from. I didn't know whose voice it was. I just heard this voice, and it would have conversations with me. And so I would run to get to this euphoric place where everything would calm down, my mind would calm down, everything would stop, and I could hear this voice, and I'd start walking. I just walked for hours in the mountains just having this conversation with whatever this thing was. I didn't know what it was, and if it was coming from me or through me or around me. Didn't call it God. At that time, that voice told me, you need to leave Mormonism. Now, for people who are in a local community Christian church, it's no big deal. Nobody cares. But I was raised generationally. My mother was Catholic, and then she became Mormon. Our families were Mormon in every direction. And Mormonism, you don't just leave Mormonism. Mormonism is like a mafia. There's only one out. Die. And so choosing to leave was Abrahamic for me.
Got it.
Abraham was given 3 specific instructions. God said, cool, you want this promised land that I'm promising? You want more children? You want the stars of the sky and the sands of the sea, that the number of your posterity will outnumber those two premises? Well, here's what I need you to do first. First, I need you to leave your country. Second, I need you to leave your family. Third, I need you to leave your father's house. Translated to me, that means you need to leave the world you've created. You need to leave the stories about your wife, your children, and your life as it is. And third, you need to let go of all your parents' traditions. Some of them are on and some of them are bullshit. And inside it has a beginning stage that all man goes through to be able to learn to trust God. Now, I didn't know it was God at the time. I didn't even know I was going through an Abraham experience. It's only looking back I knew that. So I did. Left Mormonism. This sent shockwaves. Everyone in my networks in the world were all Mormon. Now I'm blacklisted. This dude is untouchable. He has leprosy. You cannot touch this guy. My wife then was forced into a decision. I'm a cheater. I'm broke. I lied. I lost everything. And I'm running every day. And I'm not making money. And she chooses to ride with me for some fucking reason. She says, I'm in. I think if it was now, she'd be gone. If it was then, she was young. She was in her 20s. She was pregnant with our second daughter. She was scared. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know where to go. And I was just fucking running. And my wife looked at me like, what are you running from? I was like, I'm not running from anything. She's like, you're literally fucking running. as I'm putting my running shoes on. I'm not running. You're such a bitch. Stop talking shit. And then I would run, literally run away from her and run away from everyone into the nothing. So that became the beginning stage. And one of the first things, I had a coach back named is Ron Zeller, and he was a Landmark Forum leader.
Okay.
And I got on a Landmark Forum back in 2006. And he knew I was in a bad place. And he said, hey, I saw him at this event. He said, you and I, we should work together. You need some help. I was like, no shit. He said, it's $10,000 for 10 calls. And I was like, I hadn't really invested in coaching much. And I looked at my bank account. I had like $13,000, $14,000, which was enough to pay the mortgage on one of the homes that I had, the one we were in. And I remember having this dilemma. I was like, if I pay the mortgage, I'll feel good for a couple weeks and I'll still be fucking stupid. If I don't pay the mortgage and I pay Ron, at least I'll have somebody in my corner to help me be less stupid and the bank can fuck off. So I made the decision, invested in coaching with Ron, and the first conversation we had was a foundational conversation to build Warrior, which he says, we're going to start with the principle of integrity. He's like, you are a liar. And I was exposed. And I knew it. My whole life was a lie. I would put on the perception of one thing, but inside I was fucking dying. I had darkness and pain and trauma and decision after decision of so much pain, a loss of what had been my identity, and now I'm trying to figure out who I am. What am I to do? The thing I knew was I was not going back into mortgages, not going back into real estate, not going back into insurance, although that didn't happen. We had a company called Paradigm Life, which I gave to one of my partners, Patrick Donahoe. He built that into an empire. Proud of him. He's great. And I was committed to this idea of truth. And for whatever reason, the whole paradox flipped on me. I was like, wait a second. In the land of liars, truth is a weapon. And when spoken, is received as a declaration of war. So I was like, well, I got nothing to offer but truth. So I just started speaking truth.
This is what year?
This is 2009.
And that was the founding principle of Warrior.
Was truth.
By the way, if you guys don't know the Warrior Way, if you don't know Warrior, he is the Warrior. Make sure, where does everyone want to go? I mean, obviously, follow him on social media. He's all over my social media. He's a close friend of mine. So follow Garrett J. White. But also, where do you want to have everyone go?
WakeUpWarrior.com is a great place to go. Yeah.
Okay, WakeUpWarrior.com. Make sure you go to Wake Up Warrior. If you're not where you want to be again, the principles of your family or business or parenthood, any of and all of the above, this is going to be your guy. So WakeUpWarrior.com. Okay, so this was the foundation, 2009.
Truth. Which now people talk about authenticity.
Sure.
Talk about being authentic. This is 2009.
Yeah.
There's no Instagram. There's no TikTok. There's no free-flowing iPhones.
No.
And social media is barely something on Facebook.
What the hell are you doing?
Dude, all I did was go and speak truth everywhere. People are like, how are you doing? Shitty. That's how it started. I remember my first day, I was like, you know what? Ron's right. I'm a fucking liar. I'm just going to tell the truth about where I'm at. And I'm sitting in a grocery store, and this lady goes, how are you today? I go, I'm shitty. She didn't know how to respond. She was like, like I just shoved a spoke in her bicycle wheel, and she flew over the handlebars. And then I just found how responsive people were, how terrified they were of it. And I was like, hold up. So then I go to business. I was sitting next to John Assaraf at the Speaker Author Networking Group by Larry Benet in LA in 2009.
Sure.
And we're sitting I got Bill Barron, John Assaraf from The Secret, and all these people that are big dudes. I'm fucking nothing. I got nothing to offer. I got there because of Chris Crone. Chris Crone had brought me under his wing after I was under Garrett Gunderson's wing, after I lost everything. Chris picked me up because he and his wife had gone through an event I ran called Soul Purpose Intensive. Chris was like, God told me I'm supposed to help you out. I was like, okay. He's like, so come under my wing here, REIC, which was his original company. He's like, come be on the team and we'll play. So he said, hey, I got a ticket to this event. You want to go with me? I was like, yeah. So he'd introduced me as his business partner. It was bullshit. I was a W-2 employee making $10,000 a month, $7,000 take home. My bills were like $25,000. I was fucked. But at least I had a check, so that was good.
Yeah.
And we're at this event, and everyone's here time to share. And I'd just gotten recently in tune with this idea from Ron that being in integrity and telling the truth would be a good idea. So they go around, hey, I'm Bill Barron, I'm a billionaire. Hey, I'm John Assaraf, I'm from The Secret, blah, blah, blah. And they go down, everybody's doing their shit, and I'm getting kind of nervous and excited at the same time. And then what's his name who wrote Never Eat Alone?
Oh, what a great book.
What's your fucking name? Look that up first for a second.
Never Eat Alone's a great
Never Eat Alone, great book. He was there speak. I can't believe I don't remember his name. Anyways, Keith Ferrazzi. So he was there speaking, and his book was on candor. He was also speaking about being candid. So it's kind of just getting cool with this idea of truth. And he had spoke about the more. I was like, fuck it, it's full thing. Keith's already said we should be candid with each other. So I said, hey, my name, I wasn't Garrett J. White at the time. It was just Garrett White. So I'm Garrett White. I used to be something. I lost everything. I have no money. I have about $1,200 in my account right now. I was brought to this event supposedly as a business partner with Chris Crone. Really, I'm an employee for him. I haven't been an employee since I was a PE teacher 9 years ago. I cheated on my wife about 6 months ago. I have a pill popping addiction right now that I'm trying to work through. I run a lot, and just real excited to be here. And everyone at the table is like, what the fuck was that? And then I just smiled, and I was like, so
I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
Excited to be here with you guys. And I remember Vishen Luciano from Mind Valley was there.
Okay.
And I had gotten up on the mic, and I shared, and Vishen will never probably remember this, but Vishen came up to me after I got off the mic, because on the second day, they said, hey, who wants to share? And nobody raised their hand. And so I raised my hand, and Larry's like, all right, you, come up here. So I get up on the mic, and I'm like, hey, listen, day one, everybody was really candid and talking honest and open, and now we're kind of back to this bullshit cover-up game I'm noticing, and everybody's trying to posture and position and cockstrut. Like, I think it'd be cool, and I took my suit jacket off, and I threw it on the floor. I was like, it might be cool if we actually told the fucking truth around here. And the whole room's like frozen. Then Vishen comes up to me in the hallway, and he's like, bro, that was magical. Keep doing that. Whatever that is that you're doing, keep doing that.
Yeah.
And that became the launch into a world of truth. And what I found inside of truth was this ability for us to find power, which eventually I come to understand was God. Truth is the access point to God. A liar cannot access God. A liar is like Adam hiding in the bush blaming his wife. Adam lied because he was embarrassed. He was ashamed. Prior to the lie, he was not ashamed. He was naked. Didn't give a fuck. He's like, here I am. I'm Adam. I'm the first dude. Look at me. He had no penis to compare against anybody else. He knew he was the biggest penis on the planet.
That's right.
He's like, I have the biggest cock of all time. I'm Adam. That is my woman, Eve. I'm always wondering how in the world they figured the sex thing out. If you didn't have anything to look at, no one to coach you, how do you find that out?
No idea.
I wonder how many holes he tested before he found the right one.
Couple.
She's like in the ear. He's like, well, that's not going to work. He's like, let's try something else. She probably had to guide him in. So anyways, that whole space of truth started me down this path of realizing that I was different. So I thought, until I started sharing all my dark shit all the time.
So you thought you were different because you had dark shit.
Then the truth was revealed to me.
Yeah.
And what started happening is guys would pull me aside. And they're like, dude, like that thing that you just shared, like that, I had that happen too. Like the thing you just talked about, like tell me more about that. And I started recognizing that not only was I not alone, I was the normal, and the weirdos were the liars, and all men are liars. And they have been taught, trained, and educated from the time we were born to lie. And the origin of our tradition comes from Father Adam, who was a liar. And lying has become the greatest obstacle to success in entrepreneurism, in marriage, in life, is the inability for someone to tell the truth. And that ties back to the reason why we drag the past into the present, because we're embarrassed. We're ashamed of our past. We're ashamed of our fuck-ups. We think we're stupid. We're sinners, and we listen to pastors, and we listen to society, and we listen to shit talkers on social media who tell us we're something. But the greatest lie that Adam believed wasn't eating an apple. It was that eating an apple could make him something he already was. Lucifer said, eat of this apple, and you'll obtain the knowledge of good and evil and be like God. He already was.
Literally.
He literally was God.
Yeah.
He was born from the breath of God. He was God's ultimate creation, although woman was because she was last. And he believed the lie that he could do something to become more of what he already was. So you watch as entrepreneurs and we create, we build, we're never happy. We create, we build, and we lie. Lie about what we're feeling, lie about what we want, lie about where we are. We can't own the truth because we perpetually pursuing this thing to make us feel a certain kind of way. We drink, we pop pills, we smoke weed, we do these things, we fuck other girls that aren't our wives. We do these things all in the hopes that we can feel it. If I make more money, then I. If I do this, then I. Only finding at the end of all of this, if this, then.
Yeah.
We're still lost. Still hurting. Still not free. Still stuck. Put on the face. Marriage gets boring. That's why you watch dudes. They're married 10s and they'll cheat with 6s.
Oh, no doubt.
You're like, what the fuck are you doing? Women do the same shit.
Yeah.
They're like, your dude is a solid dude, and you just slept with Bobby Bud Light from the local fucking bar. What the fucking Bobby Bud Light's got a hairy ass back and a fucking garage over his cock, and somehow you thought that was good. If you got a 6-pack on the drill over here, and you can't, help me understand what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Because inherently, the deepest desire for men and women is to be seen. The problem is you can't be seen unless you see yourself. So we disrespect ourselves with lies, and we disrespect ourselves with half-truths. And I have to say certain things to you, Justin, to make you feel some kind of way, because I feel some kind of way about myself. And this is why marriages fall apart. It's why business fall apart, because we can't get into the truth. I mean, imagine how hard it is. Think about this. People are like, monogamy doesn't work. I was like, monogamy's hard. Monogamy is hard. It is a hard sign up. If you back up on that contract, you're saying one penis or one vagina the rest of my life. That's an impossible game. It is legitimately an impossible game. If you actually evolving the way God built us to evolve, which is you today will be different than you a year from now.
That's right.
The woman you're with will be different a year from now. My woman will be different a year from now. And along the way, we start to do this. And there has to be a commitment to re-choose this new version. The businesses evolve. You did 1 million. I'm a badass. Well, guess what? That whole business has to be destroyed to do 10. And that business has to be destroyed again to do 25.
Yeah.
And that business has to be destroyed again to do 50. It's not fucking 1 + 1 = 2. The whole mechanism has to be rebuilt. Your processes, your systems, your structures, the way you lead people, everything has to change. So being an entrepreneur and being married and then doing the ultimate of the trifecta, you think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to multiply, replenish the earth. I'm going to send one shot, full send to the moon, and we're going to make a baby.
That's right.
You're like, oh, this baby thing's going to be awesome.
Easy, they say.
So easy. It's going to be great. We're going to have a baby. We're going to post pictures on social media. My wife's going to take hot pregnant pictures. We're going to post them on the Instagram. People are going to champion and cheer us. I'm going to shoot the fucking cannon and find out if it comes out pink or blue. And then you realize the man, oh shit, my wife's been taken hostage.
I've never heard it that way.
I just birthed the cock blocker.
No.
Holy shit, I did this to myself. That shot just cost me a whole bunch of shots.
That's it.
Now I'm not even getting a shot on goal.
Nope.
Most affairs and most dysfunction in marriage happens with baby number 1. Baby number 1. Because dudes aren't prepared for it.
No.
Sex is going to change. Some dudes go into like defense mode. I go into defense mode. I'm like, okay, protect the carrier of the baby. Should I touch her? Should I not touch her? She needs space. She needs sleep. All right, I'll sleep in the other room. You sleep here. I did all the wrong shit.
Yeah.
All of it.
Did it wrong enough, long enough.
Yeah. 5 times did it wrong.
Goof.
Yeah, I got it almost good on the last one.
Almost.
Almost good.
Almost it was good. It was almost good.
And now I'm going to look back with, vasectomy and go, well, definitely could have done that different.
I did the vasectomy after 2. I said, I'm out.
I get it. I get it. How old were you when you had your first?
4 years ago, so I was 39.
Yeah.
So I started later, though, because I had to go through my fuckboy season. Season was almost 2 decades, and we have you. But I needed it because I was genuinely being true to myself. Like, I was no man to give to another human, right? So I was like, I was aware enough, I had enough emotional IQ to say, this isn't the season for me to hitch up a wagon. And so I did that. And then I found this amazing woman, and she's amazing, and I couldn't be happier, and 2 kids. And then I said, we did what my job was, and so now went and snipped it.
It makes sense. I pushed my first job. Well, I didn't push a child out of anything. I contributed a seed to the creation of my son.
There you go.
But I was 22.
Oof. I'll tell you, listen, I have one of my best friends on the entire planet, business partner. He married us, was a Mormon.
Yeah.
5 kids. You have 5 kids. I feel like you and I are on that best friend trajectory.
Yeah.
I go, God bless you,
Yeah.
son, because I have 2.
Yeah.
And it's the pride of my life, but I'm also 43 now. Meaning
so different being a parent.
Such a different place in life.
So different.
You know, I have 32. I don't think I was in a place, right? I mean, it is.
Bro, I was 22. My ex, my son's mother, and I legitimately got married to have sex.
Mormonism.
It's like, hey, I got a plan. You know what we should do? We technically are not to have sex. We'll do everything else but the sex.
Yeah.
Because that's justifiable somehow. And then, but what we're going to do is wait to have sex until we get married, and we're only getting married to have sex.
So we should go to Vegas.
Yeah. Today, get married, have sex, and then get a divorce, which a lot of Mormon young kids do that.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Isn't like getting a divorce a big no?
It's kind of a no-no, but it's kind of not a no-no anymore.
Well,
everywhere. So, but like when I was growing up, that's why my parents stayed together, because they grew up in a not divorced generation. Same thing with my in-laws, not divorced generation. It was a whole world of people that didn't get divorced.
All right, I'm going to take this conversation. God, we can go. So, first of all, out of curiosity, you and Danielle have how many together?
We have four girls
and
together.
Was with
and my son was with my previous relationship, yeah.
And the daughter I met yesterday was your oldest.
She's baby. She's from Danielle.
The first from Danielle.
Yep, so she's my oldest daughter. She's almost 18.
18.
She'll be 18 tomorrow.
God bless you too. So, divorce, marriage, I think there's this thing, I don't know how I feel about divorce in the sense of I will never get divorced, but it's also because I took the journey that I knew was for me.
Yeah.
Is I waited. Like I have the hunger that younger men have.
Yeah.
Like I drained myself.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Yeah.
And I have a really hot wife, and she's really supportive and have all these different characteristics. But I also don't shame divorce in the sense of you and your first wife were not meant to spend life together.
No, not at all.
And
we're meant to create our son, and that's it.
And to your point of this diversion, if you guys can't find a way back selfishly, because otherwise you would want to fight to get back, right? Like you and Danielle have. I don't know if I shame it either. Like I'm not a pro-divorce guy. Like, just fucking divorce the chick or divorce the dude. He's an idiot. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, you literally shape men, mostly men, almost all men. WakeUpWarrior, by the way, .com. Garrett J. White. Come on, flex on him. So you've seen a lot more in me. I come from a divorced family. I will tell you, I think there's something beautiful in the fact when families can stay together to fight to stay together. But I also think to some extent there's detriment when the fight is just always fighting and you're staying together to say you stayed together. And
100%. Well, what people don't talk about is they talk about divorce rates, but they don't talk about happiness rates.
Amen, bro.
So you have all these couples that will stay together. They're miserable. They do not want to be together. That's why COVID, you saw such an explosion in divorces because people are locked in a room together. So a lot of you can fake. Here's the challenge. So if a dude's in a relationship with a girl that wants to fuck, but they fight all the time and they don't connect on anything else but this, a dude will stay in that situation because his penis is being satisfied for 10 to 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
As long as she keeps fucking him, he'll be like just enough. Like and if she's aggressive with it and strategic with it, she can keep this dude on the hook for a long time because dudes have a short memory.
There's no doubt.
Fuck her. Oh, and party brain's like, fuck her. And other part's like, oh, but this is so good. Oh, boy. Post-cum brain. Hey, dude, we're good.
I think we're good. POD, post-orgasm disorder.
Yeah, for sure. You can't think straight.
No.
That's why girls that want to know how to get what they want, just like, you're asking the question. This is the fucked up piece. God built women to communicate and then feel intimate, and then they want to fuck. Now, when they're younger, it's different, but as you get above 30 and women are looking to find a place to take care of them and hit safety and security, they're like, I want to be seen, then I want to have you inside me. Dudes are like, listen, I can't even feel you until I'm inside you. So How about we just put me inside you? I come, and then I can be as intimate as you want to be. I'll lay here for hours and just listen to your nonsense.
Yeah.
I'll listen, and it won't be like nonsense to me. I'll be like, God, that's so beautiful what you're saying right now. I just am so in love with you because you got the post-ball drain experience.
Yeah.
But that's not how God built us. We both struggle communication and telling the truth. Then men want to fuck and then feel intimate. Women want to feel intimate and then fuck. He like cross-connected the game. So who's going to cross the line first? Is a dude going to create intimacy and then fuck? Can he even figure that out? Most dudes cannot.
That's right.
And or the opposite. Can a woman submit and say, if I fuck this man who I love, then he'll be everything I need him to be right now. Now, there's always exception to this. Plenty of dudes are fucking, they're still assholes. But there's also way more dudes who are good men, chose the woman. In his mind, he's like, this is it. She's it. I see hot girls all over the place, but the truth is, I just want to be in that vagina. I picked her. Right. She's my one. Why are you holding out on me? Why are you making this such a complicated deal? I was just talking to a guy 2 weeks ago. I spoke to this vet. He comes up to me afterwards. He's in tears. He's like 42, made $800,000 last year, has 4 children. He travels a bunch for business, providing for the family. This woman has everything she wants. He's like, dude, she won't fuck. And he's crying. He's weeping about it with me. And I was like, I feel you, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, it doesn't matter. She's like, I asked her yesterday when I left. I was like, I'm going on this trip. Please, can we sexually connect before I go so that my mind is focused and I can be connected to you, etc. And she starts into a huge fight. So I'm pissed off and I'm angry and I'm sexually frustrated and I'm like, I'm giving this fucking woman everything. She has the money, she has time, she has everything. She just holds out. So these women get just as fucked up about it, where they don't know how to submit. They don't know how to even let themselves be submissive in this. And the guys go as strong as they can, but as the clock starts going, about 7 to 10 days, dudes go crazy. Because you're captivated. Now, if you're in an open relationship, you got options, you got tension.
Sure.
This is why people are trying to go to open relationships, because they're like, oh, if you know I go fuck her, if you're being stupid, then maybe you'll stop being stupid. How about you stop being stupid? Because if you're stupid, tomorrow I'm going over there.
Yeah.
And if you're stupid on Saturday, I'm going to go with her. And so people think this is the answer. By the way, open relationships almost all fail.
I was just going to say.
Almost all fail.
Curious of what your thought, yeah. I don't know of anyone that I was aware of that's still together.
I had one guy I know, Keith Yackey.
My guy, Keith.
Keith Yackey's the only one in an open relationship who him and Jesse have seemed to figure out how to make it work with each other. But besides that, I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone down that path. Somebody gets into a relationship with another person, then it's considered cheating because not even emotional connection, and then the chaos begins, and they put a fucking divorce. So it doesn't work, and it's not solving the problem, but there's this feeling. So how do you create that tension where you're like in this monogamous place saying, I choose you, you choose me? That means both people have to submit.
Yes.
Dual submission. Guy's got to commit to creating intimacy. Woman has to commit to putting out. And the ultimate goal is, can she put out because she wants it too? Can he be intimate because he loves her?
That's right.
And not make it all about sex? Can she givingly, willingly allow her body to be in communion with his because she wants to please him? Can he serve her because he wants to please her? Not because I'm going to fuck him to get what I want. I'm going to be nice to her to get what I want. Instead of, can I actually do this because I love the person I'm with? Can I be intimate, sit and listen to my wife for 30 minutes, talk herself into a goddamn circle, not want to solve one fucking problem, not want to do anything but sit there? I will sit while she blow dries her hair in the bathroom and I just sit on the toilet. I'm not taking a shit. I'm just sitting on the toilet and I'll look at her and her top's off and she's beautiful and I'm just looking at her breasts and they're amazing and her hair's long and she's just blowing her dry. And I'm like, you want me to blow dry your hair, babe? Which I'm pretty damn good at it. So I'll blow dry the hair. We're in the hair industry. I got some skills, so I'm blow drying the hair, and I'm not saying shit. I'm like, tell me more about that. Wow, that sounds hard. Man, I sure love you. What else happened? Okay, what else? I won't say a fucking thing, and at the end of 30 minutes, she'll be like, you were so present, thank you. And in the back of my mind as a dude, I'm like, we fucking went nowhere. We didn't go a goddamn place. We literally drove around the fucking block, came right back to the same spot. Not one fucking thing has changed. You still don't solve the problem. You still don't know what the hell you're doing. And there's no way out of this cul-de-sac you're in outside of me ramming a 2x4 into the conversation, which when I do, now I'm not listening. You don't feel heard. You don't feel supported, and I'm not getting laid. So I'm like, well, that's okay.
That takes some deep fortitude.
Massive.
So I was going to ask you, and maybe that was your answer. How does a man, for all my men out there, how do we fight that fight so we can be present, so we can genuinely submit to our women who want to have a conversation in circles and be present doing? What is that advice that you can give us men?
First identity was, listen, you're a dude. Listen, if God didn't want your penis to be in a vagina, he wouldn't have put all the sensitivity on the end of it. Then you wouldn't even want to touch it. It wouldn't be, you don't see dudes walking around rubbing their knees. It's not like, hey, I'm going to go in the bathroom real quick and rub one out on my knee. I'll go rub my knee out. No, it's like, dude, your penis was built to penetrate. That's the thing. And that's not your fault. Being triggered by beautiful women, that's not your fault. That's part of life. Like, I used to have a hard time with that. Women know you're lying, too. What beautiful woman walks by, she catches you looking. It's like you can't not look.
Oh,
it's just like
full radar.
Yeah, it's just like she knows. And then she's like, do you think she's hot? And then she knows you're going to lie. And you're like, no, baby. You're the only one I look at, only you. And she's like, he's full of shit. I don't trust him. So I started getting honest. And this girl walked by on the beach years ago. Nice ass, big tits, just beautiful body walking by, sitting on a towel with my wife. And she walked and she looked over at me and I looked at her and I held the gaze for about 3 minutes or 3 seconds, not 3 minutes. And she walked by us and my wife's like, you just looked at her ass. I was like, I did. It's nice. She didn't know what to do because I'd always lied about it. I'd be like, no, I wasn't looking, or I'd do the corner eye under the glasses, just kind of looking. All fucking dudes do this. They do it in church. They do it on the beach. They do it at downtown at restaurants. You can't not.
You can't do it here in Miami.
What, dude, here in Miami, it's like
your eyes can't go that many different directions.
There's too many. The only thing that's funny about Miami I found is like I'll walk around, dudes won't look at my wife, they'll look at me, almost like looking like, hey, good job. Just like quick look at the wife and me. The only people who don't do that are the Cuban godfathers around here.
Yeah.
These dudes sit at tables with like 20 people at the table. They just look right at my wife the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Give a fuck.
Just look right at her, dude. They're just eyeing her up and down. And then they'll look at me. No, not even a hesitation. They're just like, and I'll nod to them. They don't even nod back. They're just like, I'll fucking kill you. I'm like, hey, you're not taking my woman, try. Let's see what happens. But inside of that space, like for guys, it's like, can I get to a place of owning my truth?
So when she's going around and around in circles talking.
Own my truth. My job is to be immovable. Okay. How can I be immovable becomes a question. Well, you can't be immovable if you're lying. So what does a lie guy has to tell the truth about? Sex matters. So I'll ask guys when they come in, I was like, listen, this sex problem we have going on in the marriage, which happens for most men in marriage and long-term relationships. Seasons up and down, go through droughts that are horrible. And in that place, I'm like, okay, is this problem in sex, is it a divorceable event for you? Like, what do you mean? I was like, if this continues the way it's continuing, is it a divorceable event for you? Would you leave her over it? 9 out of 10 guys will say yes. 1 out of 10 will say, I would never. I said, then I can't help you. Because the leverage is in the leaving. She has to know you're fucking going. And if she wants to be part of this life with you, she's going to come. If she doesn't want to come with you, then she's going to choose out.
And then in the reverse, you have to be...
Well, the same token goes. You don't get to play a game, she doesn't get to play.
That's right.
Which means if this is your demand and expectation, she gets to have her demands and expectations. Which is you're going to fucking listen to me.
And you're going to do my hair, and you're going to listen.
And you're going to listen to me.
Try to fix a goddamn thing. Just
nothing.
And listen.
Just want you to ask questions about me.
Idiot.
Don't come home and tell me about all your business success when you've been gone for 14 hours. I don't give a shit. Don't tell me about all the cool shit you're doing because you're being taken away from me. I don't want to hear about your dumb wake up where you're moving. I don't want to hear about some big deal you're doing. I don't want to hear the breakthroughs in the guys. I want you to focus on me. So I stopped coming home and bringing business home. And I just put it all down. I go right to her. I'm like, hey, I know you had these three things going on today. Tell me about first one. How's your book going? And there's just pure presence and connection to this. But that's impossible if I don't live in truth to myself, which is acknowledging things I want in life, but also acknowledging where I'm at. Where am I fucking up? Where am I out of integrity? Where am I lying to myself? Where am I at? And this stripping away process, everything we've been doing for 13 years in Warrior with our tools, which is helping guys get down to this base foundational rock of truth. And the interesting part is, in that truth, we call that waking up. You wake up to a new perspective, like the dawn. Like when the sun's coming, you can't see the sun, but there's light. Most men are operating in this dark pit, and they're trying to create the facade of light. They're throwing out flares from the pit. They're throwing out sparklers. They're shooting fireworks. I'm good. You're not good, dude. You have to turn the light on inside, and the only way to turn the light on inside is not to be perfect, it's to tell the truth. But to own that truth, not as a victim, not as a projection, not blaming your wife, not blaming anybody else. This is where I'm at. I hurt. I'm not happy. I'm feeling very angry. I'm very pissed off. I'm fucking filled with rage about this situation, and it's all my fault. Because that dudes will be like, well, my wife this, you chose to be with her. You choose to stay with her. If you choose to be with her and choose to stay with her and continue to tolerate this, in yourself and in her, it's your fault. You have no hall pass on this.
That's right.
She's not doing anything to you that you're allowing to happen. So when guys get to truth, this light turns on. But the next stage, you have to take a knee. Take a knee to God, take a knee to truth. Both in where they are, and now only in the truth of where they are, the vision of what they could be next. What do I want? Real easy to bitch about what you don't want.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't want my wife to do this and this. Okay, what do you want her to do?
Get clear on that.
What do you want that to be?
I have 5 laws of success, and I think you've heard them, but the first law that I believe is that decide what you want and decide who you need to be to get it. That is the first law that I tell people. Because if you don't have the clarity on what you want, then you don't know who you need to be to get it.
Yeah.
To be truthful, to be honest, to go deep in there, to find the light. That's what you're talking about.
Yep. And that's hard. That's real hard. Because that comes with a price that has to be paid.
Yeah.
Because if the truth is known to you and you own the truth, and then that truth itself is now shared with the world around you, here is my truth, most of the relationships you in will end. Because most of the relationships you were built on lies.
They're on sand, yeah.
Most marriages were built on lies. Half of my truth was shared. We built a relationship with the part I had the courage to share, and the rest of my shit I'm going to hide. I'm not going to tell you what I'm feeling. And women have to face the same situation, particularly women that don't produce, make money, because they're held hostage in a certain situation. If I tell this man that produces my full truth, will he leave me? Will he abandon me? If my husband rises in power, will he leave me and now replace me? So women are going through the same fears. It is a different set of fears. And so women have produced and make money in this attempt in the new generation of woman to try to feel safe. The only challenge a lot of them are getting into is that they're bringing so much masculine energy into the relationship. The guy's just like, fuck you. Holy shit. Let me tell you how this is not going to go. I just fucking dealt with dudes all day long. I want to come home to a soft woman with a vagina and breasts who wants to cuddle me on the couch and talk with me. I don't want to come home and have another goddamn war. I was in fucking war for 12 hours all day long. Now I'm coming home to home war and a castle war. Fuck this place. I at least can win out there. Here I'm in trouble with you. I didn't come home to be in war with you at home. Holy shit. And I tell these women, I'm like, listen, you want to win? Drop your fucking masculine. Stop coming aggressive with these dudes. They don't like it. And what you're creating is a bunch of pussy purse boys. And then the women are unhappy with those guys. Well, then he's not. And they always go cheat with the dude who's fucking more aggressive. But then they get with the aggressive dude and they try to match his aggressivity. You're like, what's wrong with you? Well, that's not their fault either, because they've been taught, trained, educated to be this way too. That's why you see powerful women, women who run a lot of masculine energy, their dudes aren't alpha. Dudes are fucking pussies.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, dude. I'll see women like it's pretty good in the personal development space. These women are aggressive and all intense. You meet their dude. I don't even have to ask.
There's no doubt.
Because the dude rolls up and you're like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, you lotion your hands 6 times a day. Your hands are softer than your wife's. I was like, that's a problem.
Oh, God. Guys, listen, if you've been listening to this, you got to go follow this man. We're on time. We could do this for the next 3 or 4 hours, brother. Thank you for showing up, showing out.
You got it.
I don't think there's anything we didn't cover, but we could have gone way deeper. We're going to do this a lot.
We are.
A couple times.
We're going to do a lot of this fun stuff together.
This is going to be fun. WakeUpWarrior.com. Garrett J. White, the man that will change your life one way or another. Appreciate you. If any of this hit you, hit your soul, hit your heart, hit your mind, make sure you share this with at least 2 of your friends. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.